Hello, everybody. This couldn't come soon enough. I've been sitting here waiting for 60 minutes. Come on, let's go. Hello, Taylor. How you doing today, hon?
Hey, doing pretty good. Hanging in
Glad,
there.
glad to have you with us. Even if we don't see you, we got spoiled with 2 weeks. We'll keep our fingers crossed for another week.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. I am glad to see all of you here. I see a lot of names in there I recognize, and I got to tell you, it's really nice to see people here over and over again, and it's really exciting when I see a name I haven't seen before. I don't know if I've seen Jay Maya. Jay Maya, we're going to look at Eldon for you. You requested it. We're going to look at it. Velmore, glad to see you here. Kashira, yes, thank you. We've got all your tickers. SVEG, Underdog, you were pulling my chain, buddy. I have squeezed your RDLGL in. It's at the very end. We're going to do it, though. I think I can squeeze it in without a problem. Hello, Mark. How's your Spoozy doing? I didn't have time to go check Spoozy, and it's not going to make it in our list today. Underdog, yes, WDRP. We are going to actually look at it, so you're going to get WDRP and RDGL. Lucky you. You got both today. T. Rick, man, I love a Jabberwocky in the chat room. Thank you for showing up, pal. He does do some talking. 3, 2, 1 to the moon. We're not going to get to your Osty, buddy. I would like to, honestly. You're a little late to the party. I know you're not late. You were actually early. Folks, I put up a placeholder for this video early so that people know it's going to be here and they start dropping their tickers, and I take them first come, first served. By the time 4 o'clock rolls around, my plate is full. I can't get to any more. Not to mention, I get a few requests from other places ahead of time. So I actually had 3 before I even started getting requests here. I hope that doesn't make anybody feel offended. So I'm going to jump on into this. Dale
I'm
Grill.
offended, but okay.
Great to see you, Dale. CSSE, we won't get to Chicken Soup for the Soul. They've had some things going on. Thebes won. Boy, buddy, you brought in your FTCT a little late. We're not going to get to that one either, but I'm really happy to see you here. All right, let's jump on into this then. We've got what's going on?
What do you mean?
Wow, I just heard myself repeat everything I just said to you.
I have no idea.
Can you hear me repeating?
I can hear you.
So you hear both of them?
No, I hear you.
No, I hear me, and then I hear me back.
I don't hear an echo.
Uh-oh, how do I get this echo? Okay, can you hear me okay now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to have to turn my volume down. I do not know what's happened here, but I got a horrible echo of me coming back. Everything I'm saying is slapping me in the face a couple seconds after I say it, which makes it a little difficult to even hear myself thinking. So I've turned the volume down so that I can talk. As long as you guys can hear me, I'll be able to think this. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit.
Okay. All right, let's give this a shot. We are looking at all right, I can't hear anything. Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. All right, because everything is echoing, even you. So we are looking at ticker IC Zoom Group. This is ticker ICM. I never heard of this company before. This is a penny stock on the major exchange, the NASDAQ. Looks like she had a pretty good day. She was up 23%, finished the day at $2.46. Now, I have wrapped up information to share with you, so we can't go through every little bit. But what I've got here is the description first. IC Zoom, together with its subsidiaries, sells electronic component products to customers in the People's Republic of China. The company provides semiconductor products, including various integrated circuits, discretes. I don't know what a discrete is. It sounds a bit sneaky to me. Passive components, and optoelectronics. Its products are used by small and medium-sized enterprises in the consumer electronic industry, virtually everything. When you jump over to their website, this is the company's website, but it looks like where you buy their products as well. They're budgeting. And these are the sort of products that they've got. Little tiny semiconductors and other little gadgets. Now, the news, we've got two pieces of news here. One that came out March 18th. This is about an upgrade they were doing to their software as a service system. This was to help them. And then they canceled a public offering. They just did that on the 17th, which was just about a week ago. That is actually all of these filings. The F1 is them requesting to do a public offering. And they were going to do 1.3 million units. That's going to be 1.3 million shares. And then 1.3 million units, which will turn into shares 3 or 5 years down the road. And then the following filing there was the cancellation. This one up here, the effect says yes, it's going into effect. And then the next one, the RW, is a retraction. And that's all that says. The company requests the company's registration statement form F1 be withdrawn. So no public offering for the company. But that's really all I can see for the company. I don't see any other big news. I don't see any filings over here that should have it moving. So what was the relative volume around this company today? Almost 100% increase, jumping from 1.4 million to 2.6 million. Share structure for IC Zoom. Oh, we got a low float, 6.5 million. Well, that's the outstanding share count. Float isn't going to be any higher, could be considerably less. Now, it can't go any lower than 1 million. On the major exchange, 1 million is the smallest the float can absolutely be. So it's going to be between 1 million and 6.5 million. Market cap for the company, we're at about 18 million. Financials, they making any money? Yeah, they've had their ups and downs. They were at $165 million. You know that's millions because we've got to have 2 zeros to any of the numbers on any of these charts. They kicked that up to 279, then 290, and then dropped back down to 214. But look at that. They only got to get 5.2 million out of 214 million. That ain't a great profit margin. And we got nothing here on the quarterlies because it's a major exchange stock. They don't do quarterlies, they'll do semi-annuals. There you go for a semi-annual every 6 months. These are a little old. Let's jump into that balance sheet. Balance sheet, nope, we want it for the quarterlies. There we go. Cash in the bank, we got about 6.5 million. Total assets, 88 million. And in liabilities, they're down, not way down, but it's left, 72 million. So we do have positive stockholder equity in this company of about 15 million. So
April 16th, really, do we have anything? April 16th? April 16th.
That sounds awful. That's like deja vu there. I swear to God, we used that date already. April 16th. No, we had
the 17th. There was something though.
Come the day before, and looking at the news on April 16th.
16th or 17th, maybe.
Yeah, the 17th. 17th, they announced the cancellation of the public offering. That was it. That's really all we got. You might as well show us the chart on that.
Okay. So this is the daily chart on with regular candles, I believe. Yeah. Whoops. Sorry about that. So this is the daily chart with regular candles. This was the 16th. It went all the way up to over $50, like 52.21 was the high. And then we dropped all the way down, opened at $7.43, closed at $5.93. So that's a huge drop.
That's a huge climb.
Yeah, this was a huge climb. We went from, around $8, give or take, all the way up to 52 within a matter of like 2 weeks.
Whoa.
And then had a huge drop. Now we're back down. The low, this recent low is like 258, but its all-time low is about $1.64. So I marked those down here. So
I was going to say, why didn't I see this? Because it wasn't a penny stock until it crashed.
yeah, we're kind of in like that weird area because I don't know if it's going to drop down even more or if it's just going to hit this recent low and go on because we don't really, there's not much else we can
And
really.
what day was that crash on?
It was on the 17th, so I thought maybe news had come out on the 16th. This is Heikenashi's. It's harder to see what's
See, and
going on.
that to me is reverse of what should have happened. You canceled it. You're not going to flood the market with more shares. You're not going to take away shareholder value. You should have seen a little excitement, not that.
It was a hard drop. So now we're right around 3 something. It had about a 20% gain today, give or take, because we opened down here at like I don't know, 258 and went up to 333 or so, 364. So now we're kind of down here. Let's look at like the 1 hour chart. See what's going on. Whoops. So this is the 1 hour. So you can see after that crash, here's what happened. It's just kind of, and we're starting to see a little bit of life now towards the end, just today.
For the life of me, I can't figure out what got her ignited so that she ran to $50. I'm looking to see if there was anything in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, very, very strange.
Very strange. Very lucrative. And now,
Yeah.
as you said, I don't know what to think about it. That crash is beyond explanation. And it is so low right now. I'm scared of it. I wouldn't touch it. It doesn't look attractive to me. I don't think she's going to get back up to 50. I don't know why she hit 50 in the first place.
Such a huge gain and then such a huge drop. I mean, it went up 20% today, give or take. I mean, it hit over 20% gains because this was just today. So it's like between 15 and 20% up from
based
yesterday.
on that, I mean, yeah, if I didn't look at the history, the chart looks good. It looks like it's in the middle of a breakout right now.
Yeah, right now, but that's what's been going on ever since that big drop. I mean, we were at $52 and then just plummeted down to like 8 or 7, and now we're at 3.
Yeah, even that breakout, it just makes me nervous knowing where it came from, a big drop off the cliff. So I don't know what to think about it. I would have to do some more research to find out why she responded in both directions, why she went up so high and why she came down so hard so fast.
Very strange. I don't know. So this is very hard to read because of what the recent events.
Well, let's dive on into that next stock then. There's not a lot you can say except watch it. She's in a breakout position, but if you're looking for a recovery back to where she was, I don't see it. Maybe Taylor does. I don't see it. All right. Our next one here is BTCM, Bit Mining Limited. Bit Mining Limited is on the New York Stock Exchange. Got to remember, these penny stocks on the major exchanges come with a host of benefits. Better than the OTC. No transaction fees. You get to trade these, buy them, sell them, never pay a penny. You get to trade pre-market, aftermarket. You never get that opportunity with OTC. Major exchange has a lot more money and a lot more liquidity and volume. That just makes sense. You want to trade where your stock's moving. And there's more rules up there. It's safer. So penny stocks on the major exchange just makes sense to play. So this company finished today just under $3, and she dropped about 6.5%. Now, as you probably guessed, this is a bit mining company. Bit mining is a leading technology-driven cryptocurrency mining company with operations in cryptocurrency mining, data center operations, and mining machine manufacturing. Anchored by its cost-efficient data centers that strengthen its profitability with steady cash flow, the company also conducts self-mining operations. The company also owns 7 nanometer BTC chips and has strong capabilities in the development of LTC and Doge miners and ETC miners. If any of that is making sense to you, it starts getting out of my range because I'm not into crypto. But I do have some information here I want to share with you. First off, this came out March 24th. The company announced the closing and completion of a previously announced sale of its entire mining pool business operated under BTC.com to eSport for a total consideration of $5 million. Now, this is interesting. When the company relinquished control and received the first payment of consideration by retaining 71 Bitcoins of the business for compliance and safety purposes. It's a bit confusing to understand. The retained Bitcoins have a fair value of 3 million as determined by the price of 42,000 for the Bitcoin. I think it's up to 63,000 right now. Now, there's something I do want to say. Oh, heck, is it over here? Right. Now, Bitcoin just had a halving. I've been thinking here. There are approximately 21 million Bitcoins total. We have over 19 million of them on the market right now. They're already out there, meaning we have less than 2 million left to go. Now, this is going to take more than 10 years to get the rest of them. But my point is, with all these Bitcoin mining companies out there, the Bitcoin was just halved, meaning those that mine Bitcoin are affected the biggest. They get paid half as much as they were getting paid just last month. They're getting half as many coins. I think it dropped from 12 to 6 or something like that. So there are less coins going to be coming out, and there are lots of companies mining them, and it's going to become more expensive, and you're getting less for your efforts. So I'm not too sure what the future holds for all these bit mining companies. It's just food for thought. So what else did we have over here for this company? Did we have any disclosures? We got a 6K here. What's in that 6K? Right. They're selling that mining pool business. And that really is all that's going on right now. And I'm not sure if they're going through some sort of change. Why did they sell it? Did they need the money? Are they changing operations? Are they aware now with the halving that there's going to be more competition for less coins? I really don't know. Let's see here. Bitcoin could retreat at 42. Bitcoin mining limited complete sales of mining pool. No, I don't see anything else here. So let's take a look at the general information for BTCM. Relative volume was down today, dropped from 130,000 shares down to 83,000 shares. Share structure, well, that's not bad. We got an outstanding share count of under 11 million. Our float won't be any higher, so we've got a low float, and it could be real low. Who knows? Market cap is real low. Good God, $337,000. Financials, what are they doing? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, don't be that way. Oh, of course you come up. All right. Wow, talk about ups and downs. Goodness gracious. 2019 and 2020, they did 5 million and 2 million. We're losing a lot of money back at the start. Then they kicked it up to over $1 billion, $1.3 billion in 2021. But look, they only got to keep $5.5 million out of $1.3 billion. Oh, God, I don't know what they were doing, but their Bitcoin wasn't worth as much as they think. And here, they made over $500 million at the end of 2022, which is over a year ago. And they lost money, $650 million, and they owed $10 million after that. Wonder why those are a year old. We got nothing over here. Same thing here. So are we waiting for the most recent financial? These really are old numbers. They had 5 million in the bank at the end of 2022, 86 million in assets, 33 in liabilities. So we did at the end of 2022 have $53 million in stockholder equity. Let's see if we have, I'm presuming this is an American company, Akron, Ohio. Yep. So I'm looking for a 10K, 10K, 10Q. If it was a foreign company from some other country, we'd be looking for a 20F. We don't have anything here. I'm all the way back to December. Oh, look here. This isn't good. We're all the way back here to August, and we haven't got one financial. Something's going on here. They're probably going to get a letter. There's a 20F. What the heck is a 20F doing over here? Table of contents, class shares. Is this a 20F is for a wow, this thing's huge. This thing's got over 100 pages. This is looking a lot like a financial, but it's an American company. I don't know why they would have a 20F, but look at that. That is for 2022, 2021. Folks, there is not one financial here. not up at the top, not down here at the bottom. I find that concerning. Now, what I would normally do, and we just don't have time to do this, is I'd run over to Yahoo, I'd bring up the ticker, and I'd see what financials they have, see what they've got going on here. Because if they haven't filed in a year, they're going to get a notification from the New York Stock Exchange that they're in trouble. You can't go without filing. And good God, it looks like they're well over a year late now. We were talking 2023. So I would be concerned about that factor. I would keep in the back of my mind. They just did the BTC halving. There are only 1.6 million coins left, and it's going to take 10 years. They say the last 10 coins will take the longest to get. Imagine that. All right, let's take a look at ticker BTCM.
Okay. Wait, how do I get this? There we go. Thank you. I was on the other screen. Sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to point this out real quick before I zoom in. So I noticed this reverse split at the end of 2022. So anything up before December 2022, like you're going to see this up here at 146, $350. That is not going to be accurate. So just keep that in mind.
How big was that split?
It was 1 for 10, 10 for 1.
1 for 10. So all the numbers behind the split, divide by 10. That'll give you the real number on that day.
Right. So let's look here. This is the 4-hour chart. So these are the couple of levels I marked off here.
Making a move.
On 416 and 476 would be like my price targets if I'm looking at this here. So this kind of looks like a little bull flag, a little bit. So it looks like it's trying to break out. We're not quite up here, but we did hit that 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart. And then now I think this is just a healthy pullback because this looks like it's trying to hold this level up here. So we're still above these. Looks like it could be trying to break out. So just watch if it gets maybe like to the, 250 range. I don't think it would be able to hold if we lose like this area.
Yeah, but I think the 20. I think we're going to watch for that to come down to the 20. I've noticed a lot of stocks when the 20 starts coming up underneath the 200, that's when it launches. That 20 is the match underneath its butt. Man, it starts to take off. So this is looking like her first initial break the ice, come back down, do the bounce. Bye-bye.
That's what I think too. So let's look at maybe 15 minutes. So this is what's been going on last this week. So we had a big run on Monday. That was pretty nice. So we went from like $2 to $2.75, and then the next day we went up to, we reached a high of like $3.82, and now we're kind of coming back down.
And it looks like we're about 50% of that big jump just the other day. We're right smack dab in the middle of it.
Just about, pretty close.
Yes.
Pretty close.
Which is the safe zone. You want to see the price not go below the halfway point of a big run, and that's a good place to consider she could continue. So that's looking tempting. I like the other chart better. That does look a little more threatening to me that she's still in the midst of the fall. That one there.
4 hours.
Yeah, I like the 200. It's just going flat. Oh, and there the 200 is already flat. That looks good too.
This is the 1 hour.
This one I think is definitely worthy of watching. She's had some strong moves, a couple of them in the last week. So she's definitely worth watching.
Yep. About it for that. Go ahead.
Well, we've got one here that a lot of people have been talking about online. We did look at this last week as well, and that's okay. This stock has got a lot going for it right now, so we need to be watching this stock. This is AGBA, ticker AGBA, AGBA Group Holdings. This is a fintech company that works over in China. They've got a variety of divisions. They work with health, they work with wealth management, and they really like to find clientele that have money. You get that impression when you read about their health products. They say, we believe, as a matter of fact, they say our company was established on the focus that we believe health and wealth go hand in hand, if that tells you where the company's mind is. Well, they are doing a merger with Triller. The news came out on the 18th. AGBA and Triller merged to create a $4 billion powerhouse, unleashing a game-changing power in digital content and financial service. Triller is like TikTok. It's the best way to describe it in short. Now, there's a lot of news above it. None of it is really news. As soon as this merger happened, somebody became discontented and started going to lawyers. And that's what you've got up here. Investigations, if this is fair to the shareholders, if this is right. So they've got more news here than you can imagine just about them thinking about suing. But don't worry about it. Lots and lots and lots of companies get these, and they really don't go anywhere unless you're a mega company, you know, a mega merger between two huge corporations and they want to stop a monopoly or something. Then you can worry about it. I wouldn't worry here. Now, right now, there's a lot of hype, not even hype, news about TikTok. Triller fits what TikTok does. TikTok has been being kicked out of all sorts of countries. India don't want it. America don't want it. And believe it or not, China don't want it. Now, I'll tell you why here in a minute. Here, Biden signs TikTok ban bill into law. This goes all the way back to Trump. Trump was doing this too. Both Trump and Biden have said the same thing. ByteDance, the parent company, has got to divest of TikTok. They've got to get rid of it or else. I don't know what that or else means for ByteDance. And TikTok has been making a lot of noise themselves because they're getting pressured. Well, I found this. There is no TikTok in China, but there is Douyin. ByteDance owns both TikTok and Douyin. TikTok is not in China. TikTok is in all sorts of other countries that still allow it. And it's not in a lot of other countries, but it's not in China. Douyin is another one of those sort of apps that is solely in China, nowhere else. And this is what's supporting the company right now is Douyin. And in case you didn't know what Triller is an app that helps people to make short videos, primarily music videos, whether you're recording your own music or more for fun, using background music and doing skits or lip syncs. And they have their own editing equipment so that you can stitch together a whole bunch of takes. You sing the song 13 times with 13 different hats on. You got to grab each piece and make sure the music runs fluid and your lips are matching, and you don't want it to look stumbled. Well, they got AI to stitch it together perfectly. You give it the pieces and it'll rub down the ends and voila, one smooth take. They're also getting involved with other things. They've been working with sporting events, actually bringing them online, and they're going to be doing advertising like Facebook does. You know, it's free to use the app, but you're going to have all this advertising, which we're going to make money with. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Down. She was hot at the beginning of the week. She's cooled down right now, but I'm figuring with all the news about TikTok, with the buzz online about Triller, getting her capitalization, getting onto the NASDAQ, becoming public, I think the two are going to actually work in harmony to get this thing running. So right now, it could be a good time to be looking at a buying opportunity. She dropped about 7 million shares today, going from 17 million to 10 million. Outstanding share count is 74 million. No clue what the float is, but it won't be higher than 74 million. Market cap is 182 million. Financials for the company. All right, it seems to me I had to dive into, I did a video just the other day, and I haven't done it right now. The company is making money, but they don't show it over here. Nothing comes over here except the balance sheet. Balance sheet will go for cash and cash in the bank. They've got 18.5 million. Total assets, 66 million. Total liabilities is close, 58 million. So we are holding some assets here of 8 million. Now let's see over here at the disclosures. Was there anything 419? That was a couple of days ago. So of course it's going to be slow. If they're slow, hit the PDF. PDF seems to come up a lot faster. So what is this? Evaluating shareholder value. So these are some real good details here, folks. As I said, this is supposed to be a $4 billion deal. Now, this is, it's not like they have $4 billion worth of assets. Somebody looks at the company and looks at their potential, what their market potential is, and then does a math algorithm with it and comes up with a number. And that's the number they came up with between this company's fintech and Triller's audience and capabilities. They feel it is a $4 billion deal. And this filing here will give you a bunch of information about it. There's a bunch of filings over there. Just take your time to go through them if you're really interested in this deal. It'll tell you about the financials, the shares, everything. All right, so that's what you got going on with AGBA. What we need to look at is the chart because I'm in this stock myself. Oh, and don't forget about the warrant, folks. AGBAW. The warrant is probably going to be hotter than the stock. That's the case with a lot of stocks. The warrants are super cheap and run on less volume and go further and farther and faster. All right, Taylor, on you, hon. Can't hear you. Hello. Taylor, unmute yourself. We don't mind if you cough.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was muted. You must have muted me.
How can I mute you?
I don't know. It's okay. Maybe I did it. Okay, anyway.
Boy, we're just dropping the ball all over the place today. You know, it's not
It happens.
high.
It's
This
all
is
right.
as
So
human as
we
it
looked at
gets.
we looked at this last week. This was the day here, and I marked off that level, which is interesting because the very next day it came up right to it. And then the day after that, this was Monday, we not only went above this line, this 166, we even went up over 275, which was marked off because there was something back here, but that's okay. So we went above that 3 days in a row. So like here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So now we're just kind of coming back down. We're still above this 166. So that's good. And this looks really nice on the 4 hour. Like, I mean, we just looked at this and it's already above.
I like it.
So all of these are lined up
Yep.
perfectly. 9, 21, 50, 200, and that's on
Yep.
the 4 hour. So that's really, really nice.
Bouncing
So
off
1
the
hour.
20 beautifully.
Yeah. So here's the 1 hour. And you can see we're just kind of like in the middle here. We're in between these two lines. But I do like that I still think that it looks like it's breaking out because we have just stair stepped up.
Yeah. So as you called it, a healthy pullback.
It was like a healthy pullback. We didn't go all the way. I mean, this was probably, let's say 3. Yeah, so this was less than 50% of this high. I need to get those fixed, those fibs. But this looks really nice. I think it's still climbing like we just saw last week.
Yeah, the
It did
chart's
exactly
in a nice
what we
warm position for all the hot news that's still out there on the table.
Yeah, the chart's reflecting what's going on in the news, so that's always good. But I'd be afraid to get in, like, if something, one piece of bad news is going to drop this all the way back down to this, 44-cent range. So be very careful, be mindful of what you're doing.
Can you take a quick peek at the warrant? Throw a W at the end of the ticker.
Oh, sure.
What stock are you looking at there? Yeah, okay.
What?
No, I saw the TSLA up in the other corner. No, you're
Oh,
good.
no, that it's just written like that. So this is the warrant here.
Wow, looks a lot like the stock, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, she is following the stock's trend. And the warrant doesn't need as much volume to move. And because it's so much cheaper, the percentage gains are bigger.
That's a good point. Yeah, because we're right at like 16 cents, give or take.
Yeah.
And it was doing this like it was down there. Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting. It does look very similar.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought you changed the chart. Absolutely. So I'm liking Agba. I'm still in it. I think the warrant's hot as well. Actually, it's the warrant I'm in, not the stock. And I like to see the chart following the parent stock. So if you like Agba, do some more research. But I think she's got a lot going for her right now.
Definitely interested in that. That TikTok stuff is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we've got to our first ticker that was requested from the channel. This is ticker TLSA, Tanzania Life Sciences. I believe I posted news on this pre-market today. Every day I post as much news as I can find and as many runners as I can find for hot penny stocks. I do that on 2 Facebook pages, Stocks for Beginners and Titan Trading, and I do it on Twitter, not to mention my Discord group. And I do believe this was one of the pieces I covered. TLSA finished today just a little over 84 cents. She was up about 6.5%, another penny stock on the major exchange. So let's see what we've got here. What did I pull up to talk about? piece of news. Well, first, let's see what the company's about. That's always good to know. Tizania Life Sciences is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company developing breakthrough therapies using transformational drug delivery technologies to enable alternative routes of immunotherapy. Tizania's innovative nasal approach has the potential to provide an improvement in efficacy as well as safety and tolerability compared to intravenous delivery. Heck yeah, I'd rather snort it than have you put it in my arm through a needle. Tizania's lead candidate, intranasal foralumb, the only fully human anti-CD3, has demonstrated a favorable safety profile and clinical response in patients and studies to date. The company's technology for alternative routes of immunotherapy has been patented with several applications pending and is expected to follow for broad pipeline applications. Now, the reason I read all of that is because that's what the news is about. Everything, all their news is about that. If we come back to their news, it is about them talking about this at forums, spreading information, coming through trials, the FDA giving them allowances to bring in more patients, and the piece we're looking at right now. This came out today. That's the news I posted. Tizania Life Sciences reports positive 3-month neuroimaging scores in multiple sclerosis patients receiving intranasal foralumab. God, I hate these words. The company today announced for the first time quantitative data showing improvement in white matter Z scores measured from PET images taken at 3 months in nasal forum treated patients with non-active secondary progressive multiple sclerosis. So they are showing improvement in multiple sclerosis, which is a pretty serious disease. Now, there's a lot more information here that you can go into, but that is the gist of it right there. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Some excitement, about 4 times as much volume, 222,000 to 880,000. Share structure for the company, average. We got about 100 million outstanding. Don't know what the float is. Could be anywhere from $1 million up to 100 million. Market cap, we're at about 80 million there. Financials, what's this company doing? We got nothing annually, not a penny. Ooh, we got nothing quarterly either. So when I see a pharmaceutical company that's not making any money, the very first thing I think to myself is research and development. When I think of research and development, I think of 2 other things. They need money. They don't have any products. They're not selling anything. The only money they get is from investors, whether it be us or big investors. The other thing is time. How long is it going to take before they get their drugs on the market? You get into a research and development, it'll pop when they have good news come out on trials, and then normally come right back down to where it was. And then you wait for the next piece of news, and then pop, and then it comes right back down. The one thing I can say, posting news the way I do, all the medical news comes out early, comes out around 7 o'clock in the morning. So you have well opportunity to get in pre-market. And that's where most of these medical pieces of news are jumping, pre-market. And by the time the bell comes, the big gains have already been taken. What is the balance sheet for the company? Well, I got money in the bank. Thank God for that. About 18 million, 26 million in assets. Oh, and liabilities are pretty low. So we've actually got roughly $20 million in assets in this company. I don't believe there's any disclosures here, but let's take a peek. I didn't have anything thrown up there. This one is just about that news. Matter of fact, all of these, I do remember. Every single one of these 6Ks is about all of this news. Bing, 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 all of it. So really, all you've got right now is that they have had some real hard data come out now about their drug and how it is helping with this deadly disease. Let's take a look at the chart and see what it looks like.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. So let's see. I was going to ask you about this day, but it's not that important. This is the first day we got like a big heap in volume. This was March 5th, but then we came back down. This was the low, 41 cents. This was its 52-week low. And from what I gather, it looks like it's its all-time low, 41 cents. And now we're at 84. And that was on Monday. So this week we've gained over 100%. That's pretty.
On the 5th, you said, on March, they had news come out. They made a presentation about the same drug that we're talking about, this nasal CD3, being used for Alzheimer's disease.
Okay, well, it went up about 5 cents that day, which was more than 10%. That's a pretty good gain for one day. It did come back down, but now this volume is even more than what was over here. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, so we're really running now. Looks like the next stop, if we can keep going, would be like around 93, 94 cents. All these are starting to line up almost perfectly. We've got, let's see if these two come up. We've got one golden cross here. We've got one here. We've got one here. I mean, this is really running. Let's look at the 1 hour, or actually let's try 4 hour first with these. Yeah, look at this. It's like right on the 9 on the 4 hour. Like
floating on the 9. Just riding the escalator up. It isn't even tagging the 20 on its way up. It got close, but never
got close, but that's crazy.
Ideal.
Yeah. So 1 hour.
But it's at this point in time, I am most nervous to get into a stock because I am expecting a pullback. Now I see she had one there. She had a nice pullback yesterday. Yeah.
That was yesterday.
And she's been doing about 3 days worth of climb before a pullback. So I don't know. She's looking pretty healthy.
It looks really nice. Yeah. I mean, I'm not seeing much.
But again, research and development companies do scare me because they always need money and there's always time that you have to invest. So when these rips come, you really need to take your profits because they normally don't stay up there for long because there's nothing to hold them up there. Things cool off for another 3 or 4 months or longer before you get big news again. So she's looking tempting for the run, but being an R&D, I would have my reservations personally.
Yeah, that's a good one though. If you got in on that run, that was 100% gains in a matter of days. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Timing, it's the essence of life and trading, isn't it?
Yep.
The next one we've got here is Eldon. I've never heard of Eldon either. Ticker ELDN, Eldon Pharmaceuticals. Another one on the NASDAQ. I don't think we've had a single OTC stock yet. She finished today just a little over $2 and jumped a little over 2.5%, jumping a nickel. So what is Eldon about? Well, let's see. We can get that information at the bottom of the news press. Eldon Pharmaceuticals is a clinical stage biotechnology company that is developing immune modulating therapies for the management and treatment of life-threatening conditions. The company is building upon a deep historical knowledge of anti-CD40 ligand biology to conduct preclinical and clinical studies in kidney allograft transplantation, xenotransplantation, and then some word here I can't pronounce, but it has to do with transplanting of organs. That's what this is all about. Now, we've got some news here. We've got 2 pieces. One that came out on March 21st. Eldon Pharmaceutical announces use of tegoprubart in first ever transplant of genetically modified kidney from a pig to a human.
Wow.
Wish I had more information. I did not dive into this, folks. You may want to dive into that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And it sounds like it went okay. Then we have the fourth quarter, full year 2023 financial reports, but they give us more information than just that. They tell us here that they enrolled 12 participants in their phase 2 BESTOW trial evaluating the tegoprubart for the prevention of kidney rejection. Then we've got a lot more information here. They do talk about that first ever transplant of a kidney from a genetically modified pig to a human. Darn, just got to read that. I mean, that's just one of those headlines you can't stop from reading. Additional data from 11 participants in phase 1B trial in kidney transplantation demonstrated that tegoprubart was generally safe and well tolerated. So they've got a phase 2 trial. They've got a phase 1 trial here. Looks like we've got different things going on. They tell us that Eldon continues to execute on time as promised towards their goal of extending the functional life of transplanted organs, which is what this is all about. Now, they got lots of information here about the progress they are making with their technology. We're not going to go through all of this. If you're interested, it's right here in the very first piece of news that only speaks about financials in the headlines. Down here, we do get into the financials. The company reported a net loss of $9.6 million for 2023, but that is compared to $58 million from 2022. Now, this seems to be, let's check over here. Let's look at our financials. We've got nothing on the annual, nothing on the quarterly, right? We see they're in phase trials. We see no revenues. So we are looking at a research and development company that needs money and is going to need some more time. The company reported a net loss over the last, this one was for the quarter, 9.6 million compared to 58 million. Same quarter last year. The full year, the company reported a net loss of 40 million compared to 2022's 88 million. So they are cutting their losses down, and you got to expect losses. They're not making any money. They're spending money trying to find these miracle cures, and that's where their net losses are coming from. But they're cutting it down. That's a good thing. Let's see here. Research development expenses. I thought I had something else here I wanted to share with you. Research development expenses were 30 million. General administration is 12. Breaks it down. Must be another. We must look at another one because it seems to me I saw something about money that they needed. And as I was saying, you've always got to consider that. So what was the relative volume for Eldon? Ouch. Dropped half of what she normally does, and she doesn't do a lot normally. On the NASDAQ, she's only doing 131,000 shares a day as an average over the last 30 days. Today, she only did 67,000 shares. Share structure for the company. Not bad. Outstanding share count is only 25 million. Our float isn't going to be any higher than that. Now, that doesn't constitute a legitimate low float. But as far as I'm concerned, anything under 100 million is a decent float. That's a great float. Market cap for the company, we're at about 50 million roughly. Financials, we saw there was nothing over there, but we didn't look at the balance sheet, did we? I don't think we did. No. Cash in the bank, they got about $4.5 million. They got 46 million out there in short-term investments. Wow, that's a lot of investments. Total assets is 89 million. Total liabilities, look at this, chump change, 5.5 million. So this non-revenue making company that needs time and needs money has got $83 million in stockholder equity for us. That is quite surprising. Disclosures, well, there's our financial. It's not going to be any numbers in it. But what I like to do, even if there's no numbers, just scroll all the way down to the bottom and see if you can see real quick something called supplemental information. Nope, I don't see it here. Normally it'll be the very last thing you see, supplemental information, and you can find bonuses down there. Pieces of information that couldn't get into the financial, and they've got to get it in there, so it goes at the very end as a bonus. I love to find those. So that seems to be everything we got going for Eldon right now. She is expanding her trials, right? Make sure I'm looking at the right pieces of news here. Oh, is this so slow? Yes. Yeah, this is the one with the pig. So this is probably the big news that came out on the 21st. They re-mentioned that again, and God only knows where they're going with that. Obviously, this is to help people with their transplants. So let's take a look now at the charts for ticker ELDN, Eldon Pharmaceuticals.
Okay, let me get back to it. Okay, so I marked off a couple little areas here. The first one was around like 174. Well, this is the 4-hour chart, by the way. So we had some resistance, support, resistance, resistance. So I marked that off. And then this one right here, we've touched several times. And went above it, but I think this is a good like support resistance area here because we kind of came back down to this area. This is right at $2. I think that's a good mental area anyway.
Right.
Something like this. And then up here at like 221. So it looks like we're right hovering just above the $2 mark. So we've had, the only thing that scares me really about this is it kind of almost looks like a double top right here. So I don't love that.
Yeah, if that comes all the way back down and looks like a big letter M, it
Yeah.
could be that double top murder, and off the tail of that M, she takes a big plunge lower
Yeah,
than
that's the
she
only thing
normally
I'm not
goes.
loving.
Yeah, she's looking precarious right now.
Yeah, so I don't love that, but other than that, I mean,
The
this
only
looks
thing I
like
can say is you're getting more volatility. The last 3 or 4
yeah,
bounces were pretty small in the channel. These last 2 bounces have been really
yeah,
big,
this one
getting a
and then
lot more static, if you will, from moving to the top to the bottom. It's getting more spread.
yeah, for sure. That's a good observation. Yeah, from here to here, it's not as much as, from down here all the way up to this 221. I mean,
Yeah, the
we were at
bounces are getting big.
150. Yeah, so I mean, that's what almost 50%, not quite, but yeah, almost.
So I'd personally, I'd wait for this. I'd see how far down she's going to
See
come.
how far down. Yeah, see if we bust through all of these, then could be in trouble. But
Yeah.
I
And
mean, it
if,
has
if
been
it
recovering.
continues, it could be another big bounce up after the big bounce down. So it's a matter of watching it and timing. You've got to see if the probabilities play out for us.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that
here's the
doesn't look
1 hour.
bad.
The 1 hour looks pretty good. This looks almost like a bull flag with a really nice, pullback, and then we're back up here.
I like
So,
the way she laid on the 50 for a couple bars there,
where?
right there at the end of the day.
Oh, here. Yeah.
Yeah, laying on the 50.
Yeah.
That tells me I'm not falling anymore. I'm getting my footing. I'm making plans. I'm getting ready to do something. If she was wanting to fall, she'd start pushing underneath that 50. So that actually looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, this looks pretty good. I mean,
For an
the pullback
R&D
we had.
company without revenues.
Yeah. Yeah, the pullback we did have, this was last Friday. It came right to the 200, and now we're back up. As long as it stays above this $2 range, I still really, really love it. But I would expect this, just based on the higher time frame chart, that this would maybe come back down to here again. But we'll see. Don't really love that double top situation like I saw on here. Yeah, I don't love that, but the shorter time frames, it looks a little better.
Exactly. Shame you can't choose which chart. No, we're not.
I know, right? Yeah, that's why we look at all of it, just kind of get a better idea.
Yeah, it's kind of like walking around the house. One side of the house looks great. The other side, there was a fire. But if you don't walk around the house, you never saw it. So you got to look at all these charts to get different perspectives. It could be bad on one side, and that will tell you, no, I think I'm going to wait another hour before we do anything. Wait till a full bar shows up on this chart. All right, you got me all lined up and ready to go. This was a double request and then a rejected request, and it's going to be covered anyways.
A rejected request.
Yes, this was WDRP. We had 2 people request it. I got my choice between this and block. And then Underdog said, hey, I like WDRP. And I said, finally, we get Underdog. He's been coming in at each show right under the 8th ticker. And actually, he did it today too. He's number 9. We're going to try to squeeze him in. But he wanted to see WDRP in the first place. So you're getting 2 here, right? Good enough. Yeah. WDRP is Wanderport Core. She's at a real low price. Hey, we got an OTC stock. I knew this wasn't NASDAQ at that price. This is 0045. She dropped about 7% today. She's on the lowest tier on the OTC, the pink, the riskiest tier. Why is it risky? Because you get very little validated information down here. You get financials, but they're not looked at by a CPA. They're just numbers given to you by the management. We get news presses, but these are just given to you by the management. Be careful. Trust filings with pinks, folks. Filings are legal notices. Those you can count on. Anything else, take with a grain of salt. Don't bet your house on a pink. So we've got some validated information here, which I'm always looking for with pinks: verified profile and a transfer agent verified. This is done by an unbiased third party, the OTC markets. So that's the best you're normally going to find with the pink. So what is Wanderport about? Wanderport is a holding company that focuses on health tech, clean tech, energy, and artificial intelligence. What they're really focused on, the company currently holds varying percentage ownerships in 36 leases with over 200 oil and gas wells in the state of Oklahoma. They must have just updated this because this just happened. Let's see what I got coming up here. Oh, and I still got my highlights. Great. So we've got 3 pieces of news here. It was back last year, but it's worthy of mentioning. They canceled 100 million shares. That's always good. November, the company expanded their portfolio, signing a letter of intent to acquire oil and gas holding company in Arizona desert. And then January 18th, Wanderport provides corporate update and outlines near-term growth. Which one did I feel had the most information? Oh, I lost all my highlights. What a bummer. What a bummer. All right, there was quite a lot here to share with you too. So let's see here. Wanderport Corporation has recently entered into the oil and gas market through the acquisition of the assets from AZ Desert, which includes varying working interests in 36 leases comprising 200 wells in Oklahoma. Since the acquisition, the company has been committed to optimizing the operations for the new venture, in addition to seeking capital to increase its interest and production output. Considering that the combined production capacity of these wells can reach, not that they're doing it, but it can reach 1,100 barrels of oil a day and 6,000 metric cubic feet, of natural gas per day. In addition to oil and gas, AZ Desert's minority-owned service company is also involved in plugging non-producing wells. Currently, there are over 3,000 wells that need assessment. AZ Desert is also actively working to secure an investment to expand production. Once the transaction is finalized, the investors intends to invest up to $35 million over the next 6-month period. That's good. We got $35 million that looks to be coming into the company, all wrapped around this oil and gas. All those other things they were talking about, health, clean energy, we don't see any of that yet. And when I jumped over to their website, there wasn't any of that stuff going on. They were saying they're involved in it, but I don't see them doing it. The oil and gas, we can see them doing. Let's see here. There was something else we had. The company is expanding its reach by seeking to acquire stakes in energy companies, both in the U.S. and internationally. Wanderport is currently evaluating a company that engages in refurbishing electric car batteries as a potential acquisition candidate. Additional information about this opportunity will be provided as it becomes available. Let's see here. Wanderport is currently involved in a project in Vietnam, assisting in the procurement of financing for 2 local oil and gas distribution entities, each with revenues in excess of $40 million each. So you're looking at $80 million there. The initiative represents not only a potential strategic investment in the rapidly growing Vietnamese energy market, but also the possibility of an acquisition. Oh boy, I knew there was a lot of things I wanted to share here with you. And then again, they reemphasize the 36 leases and the 200 oil wells. Now, all I'm going to say here, folks, is there was a lot of juicy information there. Expansion into Vietnam, possible investments of $35 million. Lots of little catalysts for a pink in the news. Take it with a grain of salt. If people are running on this news, great. Get in there and run with it. If it's a pump and dump, if you're aware of that, who cares if it's a pump and dump? We're here to make money. We don't care what makes the stock run. If you know how to get in and get out, you can make money on any situation, bad or good, if that stock is running. So we got lots of catalysts here. Whether I'm going to believe all of them, if they're going to accomplish all of them, who knows? But this is what we're working with. So what was the relative volume for WDRP today? They're working. She's got almost triple her volume, going from about 12 million to almost 35 million today. Share structure. Yeah, that's not a great outstanding share count. Just about 3/4 billion. We're at 650 million shares. Insiders got a nice chunk. They got 112 million, but we got the biggest chunk, over 500 million shares. Market cap for the company with all those shares and all they got is 3.1 million. Market cap is figured out by taking the outstanding share count and multiplying it times the price. Voila, market cap. Financials for WDRP. Ooh, that don't look good. They were dismal before, 74,000, 100,000, 22,000, 1,000. 1,000, and it cost them 1,000 to make 1,000. What a bunch of wasted efforts. They made no money. Quarterly, they got nothing going on right now. No money coming in. So they better make a deal. They better get those 36 lease, 200 oil wells doing something. They need to start bringing in some money. Let's see what we got on the balance sheet. $1,000 in the bank. That keeps the account open. Total assets, 157,000. Total liabilities is 5 times that, 755,000. And we, the investors, are carrying the bag, almost $600,000. It's not a big bag. You know what this looks like? It looks like a startup company. They got a little bit of assets. They got a little bit of money, a little bit of liabilities, and they got a bunch of talk about deals they're working on. If something pops, then things could happen. If they really start bringing in revenues, that would be a catalyst. If they literally make an acquisition of somebody that's generating revenues, they said they were looking at 2 that did 40 million. Come on. That sounds a little too juicy for me. Where are they getting the money for?
April 18th.
April 18th. Let's see what we got here. There's March 21st. Oh, no, that's 23.
This year.
No, we got nothing in the news.
Okay.
Let me give a heads up over here into the filings. No, we have absolutely nothing on that day or even near that day. So
really, okay.
Really. So it sounds like you've got more interesting things to look at than I do over here right now.
A little bit, yeah. It's a little strange.
Let's take a look at it.
Okay, sure. So this is what happened on April 18th. And these are regular candles. So this wasn't a gap. This is regular candles. So it had a run from 0011 to 0037. That's like 230% gains in one day. And it has continued to climb.
God.
Yeah, 230 something percent from 0011 to 0037, and now we're at 0045. So we're climbing still. Oh, and for months,
I'm trying to find a catalyst here. I'm jumping over here to Twitter to see if somebody knows something I don't. Let's see here. 8 hours ago, WDRP, Clean Tech Acquisition, letter of intent this week, PR next week. I don't know where he got his information, but buzz is all it really takes to get a stock moving. We don't care about legitimate information. Speculation causes stocks to run more than facts.
Was there buzz? Because for months and months before that, we were at like 00, yeah, like 001 to 003 from like beginning of December up until just recently.
A great buy zone.
Yeah.
If you had patience, and then if you did, it sure paid off. Wow.
This is wild.
Yeah. And again, we've had a rip on something I can't find. I just looked at Twitter. They say there's an acquisition. Where is it? Is it on Google? Is it on Yahoo? I'll have to look. They say there's a PR coming out next week. How do they know that? Where did they get that information? Information is gold, folks. Look at that.
Yeah. So this is what it was like for months, just kind of in this 001, 0013, and now we're at 0045. Oh, that is a huge gain.
Yeah, making me scratch my head. I mean, we've had a couple of stocks like that have had huge moves on what?
Yes, I don't know. It's very weird.
That's looking good, though. I mean, that's a strong chart, but she is starting to dip harder than she has been. You're starting to get a rollover on your 20, which isn't real safe. And it looks like your oscillators down at the bottom are.
Yeah, these aren't looking good on the 1 hour.
They look like they're considering recovery, but she's at that point right now of watching it. But again, you got to simply play technicals because unless there's a real catalyst out there, there's nothing holding her up. Oh, she's come under the 50.
This is the 15-minute chart.
It's interesting. It's definitely worth a watch because she's going more sideways than dropping right now, actually.
Yeah, we're going kind of sideways. This is the 15 minutes, so this is like
Yeah,
the last
she's
couple
stair
of days.
stepping up sideways. It doesn't look as bad as I think it did. She is definitely worthy of putting on the watch list and doing more due diligence. What the heck made her jump and why is she still climbing? And
Yeah,
if there is something coming up, you may want to get into it before she starts ripping again.
yeah, this is like some crazy stuff. I mean, we are in a totally different, I mean, we're over 200% up from what we were before, 300% actually at this point, because we're at 4.5, 0045.
Without any forewarning.
Very strange.
The
But
only thing you can do is be watching the technicals. And that's what I do. I go through and I pull up my 4-hour chart and I look for stocks where the price is turned up, where both the 200 and the price are coming down, and the price is just starting to turn and cut through. And that's what Wanderport. We wouldn't have had any news, but we'd have seen it was setting up. Don't know why, but she could break out just on technicals. And God, that's what it looks like she did.
It was just a breakout, just a random breakout. I don't know what.
All right, we've got 3 stocks to go. I think we can do this.
We got this.
We got this. All right. We have now got a special company to talk about. This is ticker GNLN, Green Lane Holdings. Though the company does not sell twigs, she does work with twig accessories. Got to be careful of what I say because they actually write down all my words for subtitles and they know that word, and that word will disqualify me for earnings on my views. So twigs is what we're doing, and I'm gonna twist my brain so that I get used to saying that. So, as I said, this is Green Lane Holdings. She is on the major exchange, finished today just a little over 52 cents. She dropped a little over 5%. Now, the company is here in the United States, but they also work in other countries, as you're going to read. Right there, they work in the United States, Canada, and Europe. And they don't sell any twigs. They don't sell anything but stuff. Well, we used to call these head shops. Do you know what a head shop is? They sell pipes and bongs and anything you need to make use of your twigs. And that's what this company primarily sells, though they do have their own line of child-proof containers so that you can put your twigs inside these containers, keep them safe. They have some where you can see through, some where no light goes through, and they are all made with disposable materials. I did also find a catalog, and you can come over here and go through this. You can see they've got all sorts of products, lots of different brands. They're working with third-party brands, so they're selling lots of products. And if you like what you see here, well, they've got 254 pages of goods. So if you're interested, there's lots of information there. Let's see here. What other information? They're in trouble. They got a notice from the NASDAQ that they have not yet filed their annual report. Their 10K, their financial is late. The notice states that the company has 60 days from April 18th, that is up till June 17th, to regain compliance by filing that Form 10K. So let's see what we can learn here. What was the relative volume around the company today? Low. She lost about 1/3 of her volume, dropping from 643,000 shares to 411,000 shares. Up on the NASDAQ, that is really low volume, folks. Share structure. Ooh, did this company do a reverse split here recently? That seems awfully low for a twig company, even if
they had one in June of 2023.
Wow, that'd be a long time to have such a low float. We're down here at 3.7 million outstanding. I'm presuming the insiders own something, which means our float is going to be less than 3.7 million. We have got a super duper legitimate low float. And as long as it's not under 1 million, we're in good shape here. So when this company gets some volume, they need some volume, this thing could run. Think about it. If the stock got excitable one day and it sold 10 million shares, well, they've only got 3.7. That means they'd have to virtually sell all their shares 3 times in one day. That becomes supply and demand. You can't keep it on the shelf fast enough, and the price starts to go up like it was a short squeeze or something. That's why people like low floats. But it works in reverse as well. When she starts to fall, she can fall really fast because it doesn't take much to make her move. Financials for the company. Not bad for a head shop. I bet head shops wish they were doing that back in my day. 2019, they were at $185 million. Kicked it up to 166 million. No, that's down. Yeah, look at that. They kicked it down 138, 166, 137. And they're not getting to bring home too much of that in profit. I guess there's a lot of overhead when you're selling stuff. So they got to keep about 25 million out of 137 million, which is good business. I'm not saying they're going to go out of business like that. Looking at her quarterly reports. Oh, going down fast from 28 million a year ago to 11, 12 million at the end of September 2023. Cost them a lot of money. They got to keep 3 million of that 11 million. But again, they are still in the black. They're not in any danger. Cash in the bank, we got 2.4 million. Assets, 48 million. Liabilities is less. That's grand, 33 million. So we do have positive stockholder equity in the company. Investors are holding about 15.5 million. Now, just to make sure here, looking at our filings, 8Ks, these are material change. I already read that one to you. They are late on their financial. And let's see. Yeah, so they don't have 2023 out and they don't have their quarter. So I would think they had to get their 10Q out as well. I mean, the 10Q isn't out or the 10K. So both of those have to get out. They've got themselves a couple months to do that. I don't know why it should take them so long to do it. Maybe when it comes out, that'll be good news. Maybe they'll have stronger revenues in it. They're not giving us any hints over here. Looking at the news, there's nothing there except that the company received notification of non-compliance. That's all the communication they're giving us. All right, let's take a look at the chart for ticker GNLN.
Okay, so I'm just going to show this one real quick. So this was like maybe 3 years ago.
Where is it?
It was up at $1,700, but I want to just point out that we've had this reverse split in 2022 for 1 for 20, and this reverse split June of 2023 1 for 10. So all these numbers are not going to be correct. So don't think that it was $1,700 because it really wasn't.
Believe it or not, the 20 would have constituted everything being multiplied by 20. Then they complicated that with a 1 in 10, right, which means now everything is 200 times behind it. So any price you see behind the first reverse split is 200 times. You're going to have to divide the high by 200 to see what the real number. Why do they do that? That's stupid. Nobody.
It's really weird. Like that. Yeah. So it's saying that the 52-week low is around 37 cents, and that was like just a couple months ago in February. Now we're kind of poking at this area around 70 cents, and I've seen it a few times as support. And then here we're kind of just trying to break through. It's happened several times. This is a daily chart, by the way. So we're kind of like poking at that, trying to get above it, but hasn't really reached.
Actually, she looks like she's changing her trend. You've got your 50 coming up, and she's bouncing between the 50 and the 200. And if she stays there, she should break out if she follows suit. She's been doing well here for quite a while.
Should, yeah. So here's the 4 hour. You can see we're just hitting this.
We're over the 200. That's nice. The 200's climbing. I don't like her being underneath the 50, but she bounced off that 200 nicely, didn't she?
Yeah, several times.
Several times. Well, today.
And today, let's see, 1 hour. Here's the 1 hour. So this is what's happened the last couple of days.
Doesn't look as sweet.
Yeah. Just depends on, I mean, we're kind of in that like sideways action. I mean, it might come down to like here, like this 50 cents area, which we're pretty
kind of looks like the SPY, and the SPY recovered real nicely from that.
So, yeah, what we're looking at, I'm sure, yeah, got the high. Oh, all right.
Wow.
There we go. Crazy.
So what's the 5 minute look like?
Okay.
She working herself up. Oh, she's at a, yeah. We've got to see if she gets over that 50, don't we?
Yeah, because right now we're closer to that 50 cent area, not the 70 cent area.
Yeah, and she's been under that 50 trying to break just a 50, and she's having no success.
Yeah, so day trading, this doesn't look very appetizing.
That's a nice way to put it. Yep,
Yeah.
it's a buffet. I'll just move on to the next pot, see what's in it. Speaking of next pot, I'm ready to share with you the next stock here. We are looking at Toner. We don't have to look at a lot for Toner. We keep looking at Toner. I don't know why we keep looking at Toner. The stock isn't moving. We don't have any new filings. We don't have any new news. It's no fun to look at a stock that isn't doing anything. It's just a waste of our time. We've talked about this many times that I don't even have to go look anymore. We originally looked at Toner because she came out with an AI trading assistant, which they named Maddie. She was supposed to help stock traders like us. Then they went out and got her a soul. Then they went out and got her an image. Then they went out and taught her how to speak even better. Then the last time we talked about her, they were breaking her out to be a conversational assistant, which means you could use it in the phone, you could use it on video as a real person talking to you. It looks real, sounds real. They could be a doctor, they could be a psychologist, they could be closing you on a car deal. They are going to be the agents we've been dealing with. But now it's not a person anymore dealing with this redundant stuff. They're going to have this, which will stay on track. It won't do small talk. It'll always have information and answers for you at a snap of a finger. Bring up videos for you if you need to see something. And that's what they have been doing. And they have been breaking off into lots of different sectors, not just trading anymore. But they told us that they were doing this to give Maddie more experience. They just needed to get her out of the little box she was in and start doing other things. But they never said, this is what we're going to focus on now. We're going to go to this sector. We're going to do this. They have not done that. They just keep telling us how better and better she's getting, how much more she can do, how many different sectors she can be used in. And now we're waiting for a new piece of information. We've had nothing. You don't see any new news here. We don't have any new filings. Let's go see the 3rd. I know we looked at it since the 3rd, definitely since February. The volume today on the stock, about average. She was up a little bit more, about 4 million. Share structure is horrendous. We have 7.5 billion outstanding. Insiders only own a mere 23 million. We get 7.3 billion shares, folks. That is just ridiculous. And of course, when this stock starts to move and make a run and starts getting close to a penny, you can probably bet your last dollar that they're going to do a reverse split. They haven't said anything, not that I've seen, but you can just count on it. Financials for the company, zippity doo dah on the annual. We have a poke here of $16,000. I don't know what that's for. Balance sheet, look at this. They got nothing, no assets whatsoever. 10 million, virtually 11 million in liabilities. And we keep talking about the number flipping here. First, it was a deficit. Then they counted it as an asset for us. And they're still counting it as an asset, stockholder equity, when it's a liability. So I don't know what to think here, except that the company's got nothing going on right now except all the talk about this AI. And again, I'm going to remind you, this is a pink. Take it with a grain of salt. We don't have any contracts. We don't have any site you can go to and use this thing. I don't know. We see a lot of talk, but we don't see a lot of action. And until I see a filing or a contract, money coming in, be leery, folks. If it sounds too hot to be true, maybe. I'm not saying I know anything bad about the company. I'm just trying to warn you folks. Protect the money you got in your hand by not swallowing every pill they put in front of you. All right, let's take a look at the chart for Toner. I'm sure there's not a whole lot there either.
So here's all the dates we've looked at this. We've been looking at this. This is the 9th time we've looked at it since December. So if you don't remember, for months and months, we were between this 0001 and 0002 for months on end. And then we started looking at this in December when it jumped up between 0002 and 0003. Then we came up here to the 0007 area and we went all the way to 0015.
Went to
And then we're coming
Crazyville
back
is what
down.
we did.
Yeah, so, but this played out, this here. Whoops. This head and shoulders, if you can see that. Okay, so we had this head and shoulders action, and it did play out, because look where we are now. This is today. So we're back down to this 0002, 0003 area.
And
So
what
we
this
came all
shows
the way
you,
down.
we have not had any news in about a month. The stock is falling without stimulation. This stock has followers. As soon as you give it news, they will get the stock moving. As soon as you quit stimulating the stock, everybody goes back to sleep. And we haven't heard anything more about Maddie. So I would anticipate the next piece of news is going to have to be hotter. It doesn't mean it's going to be a contract, but if they want to, if the management is trying to stimulate the stock, it's going to be a hot piece of news, normally about something in the future, not something they're doing now. It'll be something in the future so they can get you all excited and have nothing to show you right now. It's an easy way to stimulate a stock is just by keep putting things off in the future. We got more big plans. We got more big plans. Do something now.
Yeah.
Wow, she is right back virtually where she started from.
Pretty much. Yep. Pretty much. We're right here. And it's where we started. Like,
it looks like she's eager to get down there. She's already poking it.
That's pretty crazy. But if it does come back up here, that's like 5 times your investment, though. I mean, if
the company really does have this product, great. They need to get it out there and start making some money with it. And then this stock will be worth something. But right now, if you're holding this company, God, the next time you see a strange run, if you can get some gains out of it, take your gains. If you can limit your risk, because the company's been talking for a while and we haven't seen anything really developed yet off of all that talk. A little worried. Well, we're going to make it to the last stock, which is Underdogs. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here. This is ticker RDGL. Vivos. La Vivos Inc. She finished today at just about 12 cents, almost a full percentage up, which was just a little over 001. Not a big bump. She is on the middle tier of the OTC, the QB, which is safer than the pink. You get audited financials on the QB. You get validated numbers, which is real important, folks. You can't do any measuring of a company without their financials. You need those for the fundamentals. They've got that verified information as well. Transfer agent and verified profile. Looking good. We've talked about this company before. I remember Vivos developed an Ethereum-90 Brock therapy device to combat cancer in humans and animals. Now, the last time we talked about this company, I took you over to their website. I can't do that because the website's down. I don't know why, but the website's down right now. What this is, folks, cancer needs some serious chemicals to beat its butt. Chemotherapy is one of them. Chemotherapy is radiation poisoning that goes through you, through your skin, through your muscles, through your blood to get to that tumor and kill it. Your whole body's absorbing it to kill that little tumor. Well, they've done it reverse now. About time. They take a little tiny particle that is radioactive. They put it into a serum, and it's actually a gel. They put it in a needle and inject it inside the tumor so it starts radiating from the outside of the tumor, from the inside out, consuming the tumor and then pulling that out once the tumor is devoured. No side effects, no puking, no hair loss. You know, you got your life to live and you're killing the tumor at the same time. Bravo. Well, they've already got this for pets, ISO pets. It's out there. It's approved. It's at clinics. They just opened up a few more clinics and they are making headway for getting it for humans. Come on, make that headway faster. I don't know why the FDA isn't approving it if it's already working in animals. So what else did I have to share with you here? News. Let's see. That's old news. And that's the news we got. It's the oldest, the most recent news comes from August and December of last year. Vivos announced a certification of 3 new IsoPet precision radionuclide therapy regional clinics, and RadioGel precision radionuclide therapy receives FDA breakthrough device designation, which is great. I'm not quite sure what the device is. I would have to go figure this out. But anytime you get breakthrough, orphan designation, something like that, it means the FDA realizes what you've got is hot. There's nothing else out there like it, and they want to get it out to the consumers as fast as possible. And this really does sound good. I mean, if I was to be looking at a stock for cancer medicines, I like this. This sounds like common sense to me. We know chemotherapy works on tumors. How much better is it going to work from inside the tumor rather than going through everything and just getting a little bit of that radiation? So what was the relative volume around RDGL today? It's up, not much, but it's up from about 900,000 to 1 million. It's up. Share structure. An average, a high average, 388 million for outstanding. Insiders got a nice chunk, about 50 million roughly. We get the rest, about 350 million. It's a lot of shares, but it's a lot better than billions. Market cap, we're at about 46 million. Is this company making any money? Well, if you can call that money. From 2020 to 2023, they've gone from $7,000 to $19,000, and they lost money. Cost them $25,000 to make $19,000. Not a good formula. And it just got worse. They fell from 6 down to 0, and it still cost them $9,000 to make 0. Ugh. How is this possible? I don't know how many clients they've got. I know they've got a few, more than 3, like a dozen or 15 or something like that. And they're using this technology. Why is there no money? You've got to sell the device too. I would think there'd be money for selling the hardware. We don't see anything here. Taking a look at their balance sheet, they've got money in the bank, 1.5 million. Total assets, 1.6 million. Liabilities is way down there, 245,000. And though it's not a lot, it is positive. We've got 1.3 million stockholder equity. I don't believe we had any disclosures, but I always like to give a second look because that's with the OTC filings are the gold. Trust them more than you trust your press releases. What do we got here? Company entered a renewed executive employment agreement.
That's a huge help. Yeah, no problem. Have a good day.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. She's got company, folks. And here I am all by myself. All right. That pretty much covers RDGL from the information side. All we got left is the chart.
Yeah, someone came to the door. Sorry about that. It was a delivery man. Okay, so we looked at this a couple weeks ago on the 11th. So I marked off that area. That was the very top. And then this area, this was the most recent high, and we have surpassed that. As you can see, it did break above that, and we're actually above that 12 cents area. Now we're like right above it, but it did come up to a little over 12 cents.
Yeah, it
So
did.
let's see here. I think we're on regular candles.
Bounced off that 20 beautifully.
So this is what we're looking at now. This was on the 11th. Yeah, so this is looking really nice. We're still getting pretty good volume, not as much as it was when we had that initial pop, but I mean, we're still seeing a lot of green bars up here.
I even like the last 3 green bars.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, those last 3 bars look real juicy to me. It looks like she wants to pop up.
Yeah, that's on the 4 hour. So let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah, look at this 1 hour chart.
Yeah.
This was just from yesterday and into today. It's like we made another jump up. So we
another
initial
step,
jump, then we have another step.
Yeah.
It's looking real nice, and all these EMAs are lining up. 921.50.
Been diminishing, but she is holding. She's maintaining that incline. She took that dip on the 50, but she's pulled it right back up. Everything really looks like a continuation to me.
Yeah, it does. Well, this is a really nice spot right here. We'll see if we can get and hold over that 12-cent line. See what we can do. But looks really nice. We can look at the 15-minute also. Look what happened today. Pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
It's from today. And this was like Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday.
Wow.
Pretty nice, yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of heat in that chart. She's bouncing off of the strong SMAs. Really nice. You can see she bounced off the 200, came up to the 50, bounced off the 50, got up there. She's bounced off her 20. Yeah, she is really respecting these SMAs. That's a nice chart to play.
Yeah, it definitely is. I really like that.
Well, by golly, we just covered 9 stocks.
I know. That's nice.
I'm going to pull everybody off of here. Pull that off. Where are we at? There we is. Hello. We made it. It's 5:30. We actually got through 9 stocks. Now, folks, unless Toner has news or a new filing come out or the chart explodes, do not request Toner next week. I will bypass it. It is nothing personal. It's just the stock hasn't got any glow right now. And I don't want to look at any charcoal that isn't warm. That's a cold nugget right there. I appreciate all of you people coming in. I see you've been talking away over there while I was busy. Pranjai Gamiri. Boy, I'm going to call you PG. PG's a lot easier than Pranjal. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. David Fox. Hello, David. Jemiah. Like all of you folks talking here. Thank you, folks. You know, without you, this would just be a waste of time. I mean, honestly, I make videos all the time by myself, and I know I'm sharing them with people, but this is different. You know, I'm still not able to hear you. I would really like to have this go two-way one day. But as it is right now, seeing all of you folks here, God, it does my heart good. Really does. Hope we shared something with you that was interesting. If you're going to be here next week, folks, remember, you've got to get your tickers in early. I can't get to the ones that are being dropped during the show. We've already got tickers dropped from me just putting up a placeholder announcing the video is going to be there. I can't skip all those people. It would just seem rude. So look for my video placement, find my YouTube channel, or just watch on Twitter, watch on those Facebook pages. I will put out the video notice, and you can go to it right then and there and drop your ticker. And I will see it right then and there, and I'll start doing my due diligence. And by the time you get here at 4, I'm ready to talk about your stock. I know I'm talking to you, underdog. Anytime in the middle of the day, you can drop that ticker in. When you're in the bathroom, having a cigarette break, when you're not driving at the red light. You can do it at the red light. Thank you, folks. I appreciate your time. Taylor, I appreciate your time. I know that this is all voluntary for you. So let's give Taylor a big hand, folks.
Yay.
There you go. I can hear her. We will see you next week, folks. Same place, same time, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Thursdays. I do believe Taylor will be here.
Yep.
If she's not on vacation, I'll be here too. See you then, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Home alone.